Hey, comic book fans! Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Users. I'm Wild Bill, host of the show, and right here, the other host, founding father of the show, sitting right next to me right here.
Pete Pardo here. What's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining. We got another Warren Magazine special for you, as it is October.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is October. Horror, monster stuff, right? So, Eerie, issue number 53 is what we're doing today. And look at that great cover.
Oh, looks like Karloff from The Mummy.
Yeah, so this is basically, the guy who drew this was San Julian, who's a Spanish artist who was big in the 70s, and he did a lot of these covers. And this, Bill totally hit it right on the nail on the head. This is San Julian's depiction of Karloff's mummy, which I'm surprised they didn't get in trouble for doing that. But
wow, yeah.
But
There's
yeah,
no name calling.
No, not at all. His mind is trapped in the body of a 2,000-year-old mummy, and the body is forcing him to destroy men, women, and even monsters. Enter Mr. Hyde.
Oh,
great story. All right, this is as
Mr.
always.
Hyde chasing down a mummy.
Yes.
Okay.
But you never thought you'd see that, huh?
No.
These magazines are so cool. So I'm not going to go through.
That's a nice twist.
Yes. I'm not going to go through all the stories in this particular book, but there's a couple.
Too many.
There always are too many, but there's a couple I do want to highlight. I really like this. So Warren generally does in a lot of their issues. They do this kind of opening splash page mini story. So here you've got the Wart Monster of Tennessee.
Wart Monster.
The Wart Monster of Tennessee. Okay. And this is drawn by story by Doug Mensch and art by Rich Buckler and Bill DeBay. So some Marvel folks there. And that continues on the back. It's just this weird story about this big furry monster that has warts all in that just keeps...
I see Vampirella.
Yeah, of course. Woo, yes, indeedy. Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
All right.
So it's a cool little story, and I'm not going to kind of get into it. But editor-in-chief James Warren, editor W. Dubay, production W.H. Mohali, cover San Julian, artist in this issue Neil Adams, Vincent Alcazar, Rich Buckler, Jaime Brocal, Bill Dubay, Paul Neary, Martin Salvador, Tom Sutton, and writers Rich Margopoulos, Al Milgram, Doug Mensch, Steve Skeets, and Tom Sutton. So a lot of familiar names if you're a fan of DC and Marvel and whatnot. So here we've got a letters page to open us all up.
And what year is this book?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. I forgot to say that. This was 1973.
Okay.
1973. So here, and you got some werewolf depictions there. You got Dracula up front, so it's always cool to read the letters page and see what people are remarking on. So here, this is a cool little article about San Julian, the artist who did the cover. So over there, and like I said, he is a Spanish artist. He's done covers for Creepy, Eerie, Vampirella. Did a lot of work with Warren. So here, the first story is the cover story, and The Mummy Walks, story by Steve Skeets, art by Jaime Brocal. So basically, this is not all that different from the Living Mummy that Marvel was doing, and I think this is a continuation of a story from the previous issue, which would have been 52, because it kind of starts off like I don't really know what's going on. So apparently this guy was transformed into the body of a ancient mummy, and now he's walking the earth, and he's trying to get this amulet that can hopefully restore him back to his human body. But the amulet has been stolen by thieves and bad guys. And he doesn't have
those Inca leaves to burn anyway.
Right, the Tana leaves, right?
Yeah. Whatever.
So he is now on the hunt trying to find this amulet. So here, and in doing so, he's crushing, killing, and destroying, right? So here the mummy is... it's searching down, killing all the bad guys, but he can't seem to find the amulet. But now, subplot alert, enter Mr. Hyde. So now all of a sudden, we're going to throw Mr. Hyde into this whole plot. So here, you see the mummy still goes to this woman. He thinks this woman might know where the amulet is. He goes to her house. He knows looks like she's packed up all her shit and left. And but he finds this little book, and it's got a couple addresses. So he's like, oh, maybe that's where she went. So he's on the hunt while all this is happening. Now we're in Boston, Massachusetts. Now we've got this scientist, recently married, who's doing some kind of research on how to make human beings live 5 to 10 years longer.
Oh,
so he is
longevity.
Yes, longevity. So what he's doing, he's studying with guinea pigs and animals, and he's like hell bent on doing this. So his wife is all pissed off that he won't come up to bed, and he's like, "But I got to do this." So he's taking some of the serum that he's been working on with the guinea pigs, and he figures I have to test it on someone.
Might as well
Might as
test
well
it
be,
on
might
myself.
as well be me. So what does he do? He shoots himself up with whatever this serum is.
Reaction.
And the reaction is he turns into a Mr. Hyde type of guy. And of course, in typical Hyde fashion, what does he do?
He's on the rampage.
On the rampage, right? So all throughout the streets of Boston, killing ladies, ripping them to shreds, killing men, whatever. Everybody comes across. Mr. Hyde now is just ripping them apart. So then, of course, he comes across another stranger in a cloak and a hat, and he goes and attacks him from behind. But lo and behold, who is it he attacks?
Who?
The mummy, wearing a disguise because the mummy is trying to find these other people and go incognito.
So he picked the wrong individual.
Picked the wrong guy to fuck with, basically. Don't fuck with the mummy, yeah. So here you have the Hyde and the mummy engaged in mortal combat while it's raining out in the streets of Boston. But someone's got to win this fight, and the mummy grabs him by the neck, breaks his neck, kills him, and then he notices that this guy he just killed turns back into a regular dude, and he's like, "Oh, what did I
Bruce
just
Banner.
do?
I'm sorry.
What did I do?" It's like, what did I do?
No, it's
Oh
not
my
Bruce
god!
Banner, it's Dr. Jekyll.
So then
Jekyll.
he gets to the address that he's been looking for, and he nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
So then he winds up jumping on board a train. And he figures, all right, let's see where this is going. Yeah, going to hitch a ride. So, and then the cops find the dead Mr. Hyde or Mr. Jekyll or whatever the hell his name is, because he wasn't going by that name. And of course, what do they find? They find the little booklet that the mummy was carrying around with that address.
Oh.
So now they're like,
Clues.
Clues is the guy who killed this person. Is it this woman, or is it someone who's looking for the woman? We're going to go to that address, and then they leave you hanging because that's
cliffhanger
till next issue.
Come
So
back.
I don't know. I don't think I have issue number 53 because I think this is a really cool story.
How many Eerie magazines you got now?
Oh, I don't know.
A couple
like
dozen?
25 of them, maybe?
Well, yeah, that's
maybe,
a couple dozen.
Maybe a little
Plus
more. Yeah,
one.
something like that.
Wow.
So the next story I'm going to talk about in this one is by Al Milgrom. And
Okay.
the art was Martin Salvador. It's called Curse of the Werewolf to Save a Witch's Soul.
Okay.
So here we got a werewolf story with a really badly drawn werewolf, but I like the story anyway. He doesn't look hairy enough. He looks too much like a human, but that's besides the point. So basically, this guy is a werewolf, and his wife, because he, of course, has been killing people, the townspeople think that the wife has something to do with the people that are getting killed, so they're labeling her as a witch. And they've imprisoned her, and they're going to burn her at the stake. And meanwhile,
There's no evidence.
There's no evidence, but meanwhile, the husband now is besides himself because he knows he's responsible, and he's like, "Oh, they're going to kill my wife based on what
But
I've
it's
done."
me, the werewolf, that's been doing
Me, the werewolf, I've been doing all. I killed our daughter, right?
I could confess, but they won't believe me.
They won't believe me. So, and even the woman is so upset about what's going on. The wife, she went out and cheated on him and everything, but that was before she got arrested. So now he goes to the town constable, and he's like trying to convince
String
them.
her up.
Yep, let her out, you know. And then he goes and he attacks him, and they go and they lock him up now. And meanwhile, he shows up. He's all in tatters.
Was he a werewolf when he attacked?
No,
He's just a regular.
not yet.
regular
He
man.
was a werewolf during the night. During the day,
Oh, it's still daytime.
he goes to
So he's
the,
locked up, and the full moon's coming.
Yeah, so he's locked up in one cell. The wife is in the next cell, and they're talking to each other. They come in to take her out, to put her on the stake, to burn her. And now it's dark out, and of course, what happens? They got the bonfire started in the middle of town. The one guy, the night watchman or whatever the hell his name, comes in. He just turned into a werewolf. He kills him through the bars, and then of course he breaks out. And yeah, just to show you what a horrible looking werewolf. Really bad.
That's like a cat's head.
Really bad, right? But anyway, it's a cool story. So he gets out of the jail. There's the executioner with the hood over his head. He's got the torch. She's all wrapped up and ready to be
Set ablaze.
The werewolf comes in. He just starts killing everybody, right? He just starts ripping through the crowd. Goes up, takes the executioner, hurls him off the little stage thing. But of course,
makes him stage dive.
Right. But he doesn't hurt the executioner enough because the executioner goes down below the little podium there, and he grabs like a steel sword or some kind of shaft or whatever, and he jumps back up and he attempts to engage with the werewolf. Turns out he's Goodman Blacker. That's who he is. He's some popular town guy or whatever. And he gets into this whole fight with the werewolf. But the werewolf evades him, knocks him down. The werewolf goes and lets his wife loose. So he's still got some wits about him. So he then goes through the crowd with the wife. The other guy attacks him again. He slices up his shoulder, blah, blah, blah. But they escape. So him and the wife escape. And then the morning comes, they're in the woods, whatever, and they spend the day together, and she's so happy that, he saved her, and she's nursing him back to health. So they're sitting here making out, and then it starts to get dark again. He turns into the werewolf, and what does he do? Fucking kills her.
Oh, really? That's a good ending, huh?
And that's it. So for Arthur Lemming, the man with the werewolf's curse, there can be no new beginning. For Arthur Lemming, there can only be the end. So basically, she dies anyway, right?
He ruined it all.
He ruined it all.
He had it all. And
he ruined it all.
Threw it away.
So, and I'm going to show a little bit of a couple of things here, but I'm not going to get into depth because I think those are the best stories here. But here's a cool story by Rich Margopoulos and art by Paul Neary called Hunter, and it's kind of like a Conan type of a story, which is really cool. They do lots of these kind of barbarian things thrown in here, which I think are really neat. And some really good artwork. In fact, if you look at it really carefully, it reminds me of Barry Windsor Smith, or Mike Plug, actually. It reminds me of quite a bit, if you look at it. So here, lots of hack and slash, sword and sorcery type stuff here, with a guy that looks just like Conan.
But his name is Hunter.
His name is Hunter, yeah. So cool. And it's almost like a little bit of like John Carter, Warlord of Mars in here too, because it's kind of sci-fi in spots. Very cool little story.
How many years was War magazine?
God, from the mid '60s till like the early '80s, and then they went away. But they're back again, from what I understand.
Oh yeah. But not like this.
Yeah, no, not like this. And then the story that everybody's probably wondering about: Doug Mensch and art by Vincent Alcazar and Neil Adams. It's called Shrek: First Night of Terror, and this is kind of like a Shrek,
a different Shrek.
A different Shrek. So we got some Neil Adams art here in this particular story, which is kind of like a zombie, like a space age zombie type thing. Pretty cool art. It's kind of always interesting to see like Neil Adams artwork in like black and white, which is very different. So here you can see all the Walking Dead all over the place, right? The car's just, they're in the car running over him, trying to get through roads, Oh,
he's got great style.
We got some Neil Adams nudity going on here. No, not Neil Adams himself, but if you're underage, don't look. Naked female breast here. And then also, a lot of nudity in this one. Holy cow. And then you got another story art by Tom Sutton.
First time reading it.
Spawn of the Dream thing. Well, no, I was looking at it before, but I forgot how much nudity there was in this. I'm like, all right. And there's another story. And like I said, in the back, you got lots of ads, cool ads about 35mm horror films and toys and posters and models,
and bootity,
and vampirella.
There you go.
Gotta have some vampirella. So yeah,
a nice booty shot.
That's right. And then coming up, next issue of Vampirella and a little coming attraction for
Terror Tomb.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, coming soon and creepy. He walks, he talks, he wets his bandages. He's just like a cuddly, do-everything Barbie doll, but he's a 2,000-year-old mummy, and he guards ancient evil's richest treasures. So that's part of the continuation of the storyline. Of the storyline with the mummy.
Very
so
nice.
I got to make sure I get that one, because I really enjoyed that. So there you have it. Eerie, issue number 53 from 1973. Let us know what you think of this down in the comments below, as well as any other thoughts you might have on this episode. And I'll let Bill take it from here.
You know what to do.
That's right.
Please click the like button. We thank you for your support. As always, thank you for watching Comic Book Geezers, and thanks again for your comments, and thanks for being here. Appreciate you stopping by. Come on back next time if you like comics as much as we do. All right? So take care, and we'll see you next time.
For Wild Bill, I'm Pete. Have a good one, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.